So those of you who follow me on Instagram have probably noticed that I've started this thing. I'm calling it Flowember in my own head, even if I haven't made that really clear. In that, like for the month of November, I'm trying to post a new flow rope swing every day. Part of my reasoning for doing that is to hold myself accountable to I bought a course and I'm learning the new, more challenging, more complex flow rope swings, and it was just a personal project on my part, really trying to understand um, maybe like it, if I deepen my practice here, what benefits do I feel, are they worthwhile for me to teach, and if so, to whom, because like what are the benefits, kind of thing. And so far I will tell you that I'm absolutely loving it, like challenging myself to learn these new patterns has been frustrating at first and then immensely satisfying, like when I finally get it. And what I'm learning is that, like, I'm 50 years old and I'm learning how to learn. I'm learning how my brain learns. I'm improving my coordination. It's so clear when I learn like a one arm swing or a swing on one side. It's always easier on my right side, which is my dominant side. And then I go to try to do it on the left and my brain's like, what are you doing? So I have to go back and like do it on my right and then go back and do it on the left. And it really does challenge my brain. And when I'm patient enough with myself, it's really, really cool when I finally get it. Like there's a lot of aha moments, and I'm feeling not only my coordination and my confidence in my ability to learn improving, but definitely some of these swings are challenging my mobility. And I thought I was a pretty mobile person to begin with. And so the idea that some of these swings, like, I have a hard time with because I'm not mobile enough, has been really fascinating. And I'm accepting that because, like, it's true. And my mobility is getting better as I practice. So with that long introduction, I wanted to show you this, what are the swings. So at some point, I'll likely create a course where I am breaking those swings down. Like the ones that I'm posting, I'm not teaching them yet. And a lot of that's because I don't feel competent enough to teach those swings yet. Like I'm just now learning them myself. I'm paying attention to like how I'm learning, but I'm not really ready to teach them. I'm going to try to teach you one today though. And the reason why I'm doing this specifically for you guys is because this particular swing, it's called the bowler. It looks like you're bowling like this. The first day I tried to do it, I couldn't really do it very well. I did it with like no competency at all. And even then, like even in the act of trying, what I found was the tissues that it opened up around my rib cage was significant. And I woke up the next day having not even mastered the swing yet, and it was like the most sore that my intercostal muscles have been. So like specifically these muscles in between my rib cage, especially here in the back, it was like this move opened them up so much. And then what I've noticed is that when I go running, like my ability to rotate to both sides and just feeling really free through the middle has been so good that I'm like, okay, I'm going to teach this one. So anyway, thanks for your patience for that long intro. The way this works is you're going to take your flow rope and you're going to start with these, the backwards underhand figure of 8. And if you've been flow roping at all, this one should be an absolute no-brainer. At this point, you should be able to do it with your hands separate like this. I mean, we start probably, with hands together. And really, when hands are together, it requires more spinal mobility than it does, like when your hands are apart. Maybe you notice like my body's not moving quite as much as when I put them together, they move even more. This swing that I'm going to teach you, your hands have to separate, and you also have to like really, really move your spine. And so what it looks like is this, right? So it's a big movement like that. Your best bet, like the hardest part about that is what you're doing is you have to take one of your hands and get it up behind your head like this. And so that's where it's like really opening up, and you're doing it with the momentum of the rope, like as the rope is swinging, and you get like you open up this whole side of your rib cage, and then the momentum of the rope like pulls it open even further. And then you do the same thing on the other side. And I really think that when there's people who have a hard time getting like an even rotation when they run, or like letting their torso rotate like this, or getting your diaphragm to go down when you breathe, which is another like massively huge component into like allowing yourself to move better. It's because like our rib cages are so locked up because we're not using them that much. So this swing is really going to help. So let's go back. So if we're going to teach it, the first thing that you want to be able to do is like really take this overhead. And the difference, so we've done overhead backwards figure of eights before, and I love this swing. And I've been doing this swing for probably a year. But what you're going to do specifically with this one is like, and you see how I'm like messing it up already, but getting your hand behind your head, right? So there's one thing where I'm doing it overhead like this, and my hands are in front of my head. And I want to do it where like I'm getting my hand behind my head. And what you'll see is if you try it on one side first, it's going to be easier. So hand behind head. And notice I'm only doing that with my right hand right now, is my hand going behind my head. Because if you start, like if you try to do both hands at once, you may get like thrown way off balance and the rope swing goes everywhere. So what I would suggest is playing around with that backwards figure of eight, playing around with getting one hand behind your head. And it might be like just every other swing that you're doing that, right? So if I'm like behind head, just one arm at a time, and then you can kind of do 3 swings and go, or 5 if you need. But get comfortable with your hand behind your head, and then feel this open stretch. That might be as far as you get on day 1, and if you do, great job. Come back to it tomorrow, try it again. So if you got that and it's easy, or once you do get that, then if you think about the motion in terms of, I mean, this swing is called the bowler. So make it look like you're bowling and get your opposite hand behind your head. So I find that since I'm right-handed and I would bowl with my right hand, it's easiest to bowl with my right hand to start. And as I'm doing that, my left hand goes behind my head, right? And I'm bowling under like that. So left hand behind head, right hand goes low and long, and ideally it straightens out kind of a lot, just like that. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting this massive stretch through this side. I will share with you that when I first started doing that, I had no coordination at all to do it on the left side. I got the right side at least a full day, maybe 2 days before I was able to get the left side. And I think that is pretty normal. So like if that's happening to you, just learn it for yourself on the one side. And then after you get it, you can start to practice and go, okay, left side. And one of the things that's key with this one is like, so it's as you're opening this up and you're getting your hand behind your head, note that the rope is swinging a bit like diagonally. So if you notice, like if I do it on my left side, and as I swing it, I'm swinging the rope from behind me on this side to the front that way. And as it does that, it's really easy to just go right back into the figure of eight, because that's what we're doing anyway, right? Like with the figure of eight, the rope goes from bottom on this side to top on this side, and then bottom on this side to top on this side. And then you can kind of just go like every other swing or every third once you get it where you're alternating like this. And get your hand behind the head, make it big, open yourself up. I'd probably suggest to like the first day I did that, I did it for like 10 minutes maybe practicing, still didn't get it, just trying to get it. And the next day I was so sore that I don't even think I tried it again the next day. I waited 2 days before I tried it again. And then I got it on my right side. And then it was like another day or 2 before I got it on my left side. So be patient with yourself, have fun with this, and try it in a way that like you're patient with yourself, you're opening yourself up. And then notice if next time you go running or even swimming, I haven't actually been swimming recently, so I'm not totally sure how this plays in the water, but I bet that it would really help you get like a bigger reach, because it's going to open up you know, this whole side. So whether you're swimming or